Okay, I honestly don't know much at all about British history, to be honest. I know that I've learned plenty about the subject in previous classes that I've taken, but my mind does not retain all the information that I'm learning, especially dates and famous people. So thanks to the timeline on BBC that you posted on your website, I was able to see an overview of British history, which is great for me because I am a huge visual learner. Okay, Neolithic and Bronze Ages. From the British History Online website that you posted, I learned that it was a time of creating and developing. There are many various developments and advancements, such as the simple pottery shown in the picture on the left, stone tools, sturdier and safer houses, stone shown in the middle picture, carpentry, bronze axes, which are shown on the right, and what I think is most important is small permanent settlements. Okay, the Iron Age. From the BritishMuseum.org website, I learned that it was a time of dramatic changes in things such as religion, art, economics, and just daily life. As the name implies, there was a gradual introduction of iron working technology, and the population of Britain grew at this time and probably exceeded about 1 million. And the population growth was due to the introduction of new crops. And Roman Britain, from a website for kids that I found called primaryhomeworkhelp.com, I learned that in 43 AD, Emperor Claudius organized a successful Roman invasion on Britain, and it took about 4 years for the invaders to gain control over southern England, and then another 30 years for them to conquer all of the West Country. And I also learned that the Romans invaded Britain for two major reasons. One of them being that they were mad at them for helping the French fight against the Roman general Julius Caesar, and another one being that they were looking for riches like land, slaves, and metals. Okay, more about the Roman Britain. From a website I found called Ancient History, they had a Roman timeline as well, and I learned that in 122 AD, Hadrian's Wall was constructed, and in Rick Steves' Hadrian's Wall video, I learned that it was built nearly 2,000 years ago, and I also found that it stretches about 73 miles across the narrowest part of northern England. There were many attacks that took place by the Picts, Scots, and Saxons in 408 AD, and in 409 AD, the Britons expelled the Roman officials and chose to fight for themselves, which led to Britain independence in 410 AD. Okay, the Vikings and the Anglo-Saxons. My problem with this time period is that I don't really know the difference between these two groups, and I know that I've heard both of them and learned about them, probably the Vikings more than the Anglo-Saxons, but I struggle to understand that major difference between them. There's a lot of good information about these two groups on the Historical Association website that I found, and I made a chart from some things that I learned just from surfing the web. The Vikings were from Norway and Sweden, and they first appeared around 793 AD, and after their first invasion, they continued taking over various countries and settlements like France and Italy, and they also founded settlements in Russia and even the Americas. And another cool thing I found from the Jorvik Viking Center website is that the Vikings were originally full-time fishermen and farmers, and it was only in the summer that they would venture across the sea to raid and trade with different countries. They were both one of the many European groups at the time, and they practiced the same religion which we call Norse mythology, and they both eventually Christianized. For the Anglo-Saxons, they were from northern Germany, and they invaded England after Rome withdrew, and they established a kingdom in the 9th century AD under their leader Alfred the Great, and they were eventually conquered in 1066 by William the Conqueror, who actually was a descendant of Rollo, who was a Viking lord, which is very ironic. 1066 AD I learned is considered to be the end of this age, because it was their last successful attack on England. King Harold II conquered at the Battle of Stamford Bridge, which caused the Vikings to retreat out of England, and then Harold made his way to Hastings, which of course is where the Battle of Hastings took place, and King Harold was defeated by William the Conqueror within 2 weeks of the start of this battle. So I've learned lots and lots of new important information about British history, and you can basically call me pro, well, at least from time 6000 BC to 1066 AD. Well, maybe not, but at least I know more.